Welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time, thank you for stopping by. And if you're a return subscriber, thank you also for returning back to watch another video. So today it's another cooking video I'm bringing to you guys. For those of you who are not Nigerian, it's just a delicacy from my country, Nigeria. And if you are Nigerian, you know what I mean when I say Abula. Well, some people might not know if you're not Yoruba. Abula is amala, ewedu, and gbegiri. That combination, it's really, really yummy. It's really, really amazing. Especially if you are from Ibadan, to be precise. Oh, the Abula is just a different, it's just so different. No other state. I'm sorry to say, you guys, you can argue with your phone, you can argue with your tablet, that's okay. Argue with your keyboard, but I'm telling you, no other part of Nigeria that can make Abula the way typical Omo Ibadan, or your state will make amala, ewedu, and gbegiri. Anyways, I talk too much. Let's get right into the video. So the first thing is I got some beans. It's just a cup. You know how beans are, they swell up so much. I just got a cup of beans, peel the skin off, and you know what? The easiest way to get the skin off for the beans is to soak it for a little bit and then blend it just a little bit so that way the skin can easily come off. I'm pretty sure you guys know how this is done, but for those of you who don't know, that's the easiest way, so it will make your job go faster. So I just peel the skin off, then put it on the stove and cook it. We want to cook it until it's very, very tender, like very, very soft, because after we cook it, we will be blending this up. So here we go. I just put it on the stove for a couple of minutes with hot water, and I just kind of keep it covered. So while I'm doing that, the other thing is I'm making stew as well, because like I said, we are eating abula today. So what I will be making today is ewedu, gbegiri, and the stew, which is the sauce. I'm using the leftover meat from it to make the stew. So, and then I'll be making amala at the end of the day. So here we go. I just blend all the pepper together, and I will be cooking that on the other side of the stove while the beans is cooking. So what I blend together is tomatoes, onions, rodo, red pepper, and rodo is cut bonnets if you don't know. Tatache is red pepper. So I just kind of pick those, typical same routine for African, especially Nigerian. We have same routine, same way of cooking the stew. So I blend that together, let it cook, which I'm pouring right here. Let it cook, cover it up. So I usually let it cook until it's very, very thick. I don't like it when it's too watery. I like it when my stew is very thick. So this is what it looks like. So I just kind of mix it together. You can see how thick that is. And once that's done, I will be turning this off and setting that aside. So what happened here is, oh my God, I was kind of cooking and also attending to my baby at the same time. And I forgot about this. And the beans kind of burnt a little bit. But it's okay. It's doable. It's not that bad. And also because I will be blending it, I let it cool down. I turn it off when I realized that I still left that on the stove. But anyways, it's all done. It's very, very soft and tender, exactly the way I like it. So I will be blending this up. So I will add enough water. Reason is because the beans kind of get thick as you go. As it gets cold, it gets even thicker. So you want to add enough water. You can add as much water as you want depending on the consistency you want, but for me, I want it not too watery, but at the same time I want it to be a little bit watery, because once it gets cold it will get thick again, and I don't like adding water at the end. So this is what it looks like after blending it up. You want to make sure it's very, very fine and very blended well, basically. So the next thing now is to make the sauce that we're going to be putting the beans inside. So we're going to fry some stew. Some people cook it different way. They don't fry the stew. They just kind of put everything all together and just cover it up and it's all done. You can do it that way too, but this is my own special way of doing it. to give you a different, trust me, there are some steps that you don't skip. You can do it whatever way you want, but if you do it that way, you're not gonna taste the real bakery. You're not gonna see that yummy taste in it. You won't taste it. So trust me on this. If you want your bakery to taste really yummy, you want to fry the sauce first. For example, you know how some people make jollof rice. Some people don't even fry the pepper, they don't fry the stew, they just kind of put everything together and just cook it. Yes, it'll look like jollof rice, but you know what? It's gonna taste like crap. If you don't want your food to taste like crap, take your time. That's one thing about African dishes. You want to take your time to cook it and don't miss those steps. That way it can come out nice and taste great. Anyways, going back to this. So what I'm doing to fry the stew is I will be using some palm oil. You know how we use a lot of palm oil in my culture. It's okay, but I don't really like too much of palm oil because it gets, too thick when it's cold and it's not really good for your health as much. So for sure, in this case, you cannot skip it. You have to use palm oil. That gives it a different taste. So I am using a little bit of palm oil, if you see earlier, but what I did was I just kind of add a little bit of vegetable oil to it, so to mix it up. So then I add the pepper and then put all the seasoning. What seasoning I'm using in this is just salt and seasoning cubes, and also some crayfish. Crayfish, you want to put a lot in this. It gives it a really good taste. So here, what I'm looking for is I'm looking for locust beans. I'm so sorry, I don't really use it that much, but I know you have to use it in this case, especially for gbegiri and ewedu. You have to use it. But you know what? I didn't know I didn't have anything left. When I feel like eating something, I don't plan it. I just kind of wake up in the morning and be like, oh, I feel like eating this today, and I just cook it. So that's what happened in this case. I didn't even check to see if I have all the ingredients I need. Because I'm craving for it, I'm cooking it that same day. So I didn't have any locust beans. So we're just gonna skip that part and just act like it's there, okay? But you wanna add locust beans will give it a good taste. So I just gonna fry this up, put everything, cover it up, let it fry it up. Then after, I'm pouring the blended beans in it. So you want to mix it up together, and then you want to taste it and make sure there's enough seasoning and everything in it before you pour the beans. Or you can taste it at the same time as well. This time is fine too. So if you look at it, it changes color. It looks delicious, looks yummy. That's the consistency. To me, I think this is too thick. I will be adding some water to it because I know it's gonna get even thicker. So a special way of me cooking it, sometimes I add a little bit of, here and there things. So what I added there is mackerel, Titus fish. I kind of added that into it to give it a different flavor. You can add whatever you want. Some people do add, dry fish, stockfish, bala. You can add as many things you want, even smoked turkey. I've done that before, but in this case, I just don't want anything that's gonna overpower. So that's why I only added the mackerel. So we're gonna set that aside, let it start cooking on that side. And the next thing here is I'm starting to fry the stew so that I can just get the stew ready. So this is what it looks like. I use a little bit of, vegetable oil, and then pour the pepper in it, and that's the consistency I like. I like my stew really thick. I don't like it when it's too watery, unless you are cooking imoyo. You know what that means. For those of you who are not Yoruba, I'm so sorry, guys. Imoyo is just a fish stew. If you want to eat fish stew with white rice, it's not that thick. Anyways, so I like my stew really thick. This is what it looks like. Keep it covered, and then a few minutes after it's well cooked, now I can add the meat. And as Africans, we have to taste it. That's how our parents taught us, and that's how they cook. They're gonna take some, put in their palm, and taste it and see if there's enough salt. But anyways, that was what I did. So here we go. I added the remaining meat that was from Eid, the leftovers, and keep it covered and let it cook. Now back to the bakery. Look at it. It's going well. It's gonna be done soon, but it's not done yet, so I keep it aside. and then back. I'm so sorry. If you are Nigerian, especially if you are Yoruba, you have to be multitasking. Let me just say Yoruba. Let me not say Yoruba. Actually, everyone from Nigeria, you have to multitask, especially female. You can't be doing one thing at a time. It's gonna take you all day. You have to multitask. You see me, I'm cooking stew one side, I'm making the other soup on the other side, I'm attending to my daughter, I'm picking up the phone, I'm recording. That's just how women are. We like to multitask. We do so many things at the same time. That's what makes us a great person, Anyways, the stew is done now. We're gonna set that aside. I'm so ready. I cannot wait to eat some. Now I'm checking on the bakery. The bakery is almost done. Look at the consistency. You can see I added some water. But trust me, I know you'll be wondering, why is it so watery? Trust me, it's gonna get thick. I'm gonna leave it on. Can you see that? That's what happens when you cook. Trying to cover it and I kind of dropped the cover. Anyways, look at it now. It's all done, well cooked. It's still watery, but not that watery. But you know what? Let's put it aside because it's all done now, well cooked. But once it gets a little cold, you're going to see how thick it's going to look when I'm about to eat it. Now, that's done. Next thing is the ewedu. Ewedu is jute leaf. Jute leaf, we use it to eat swallow. So this jute leaf, I usually buy this type. I'm sorry, this is not a sponsor video. They don't even know I'm doing this, and if they do, I wish they can pay me, but I'm just joking. Anyways, this is the type of ewedu I use. You know why? Because it's pre-cooked, it's already pre-done, it's blended, it's thick, it tastes great, so it's really easy. Within 2 minutes, this is done. This is the one that we usually buy and use. So this is just one pack right here. Open it up, and I'm gonna add all my seasoning, and I'm just gonna cook this for 2 minutes in the microwave, and another 2 minutes, and that's it. So the seasoning I'm adding is just a little bit of seasoning cubes and also crayfish. I'm sorry, in this kind of food you need a lot of crayfish. It gives it a good taste. So crayfish, and then a little bit of salt, just a pinch of salt. Also, I don't have locust beans, so it would have been great to add, but I don't have it. We're gonna skip that, and then mix this up and put this in the microwave. And trust me, you guys, within 4 minutes, 2 minutes first, mix it up, and then 2 minutes again, and trust me, within 4 minutes this is ready. I'm not joking, you guys. You can cook it on the stove if you want, but I usually cook it in the microwave. It's just quicker, faster, and it's still gonna be thick. So let's see. I already did the second 2 minutes, and here's what it looks like. You can see, still thick, still green, and tastes good. Voila. Anyways, that's the jute leaf. We're gonna set that aside, and then we're gonna check on the gbegiri, which is the soup, and see if it's done. And it's done. So yeah, I'm setting that aside, and then I can now make the swallow, which is amala. This swallow is I remember one of my friend put a post on Instagram because she was having an argument with her sister, and I'm talking about Blessing. Shout out to Blessing. Thank you for always watching my video. I really appreciate you, sister. You are such an amazing friend, and you always put a comment too. Thank you. She was having an argument with her sister saying amala is made out of yam, and then her sister saying no, it's made out of plantain. Anyways, amala, which is the powder flour. Let's just say the flour. I can't talk right now. The amala flour is made out of both. You can have the one with the plantain, you can have the one made out of yam as well. The one I'm making today is yam flour. That's the one I'm making today. But there is another amala. That one is more black, and I think they say that one is more healthier, which is the plantain one. You can also have that as well. So both of you are right. Coming from a more Ibadan girl, you know what I mean? Anyways, so the secret here, I wanted to show you guys. The reason why I'm showing you this amala is because the secret to make this so you don't make a mess. Because I saw a video about someone saying that there's no way you will make amala that you won't make a mess. It's true, but at the same time, I kind of developed my own way of doing amala, and you will not make a mess when you make it. Trust me. And this is what I'm going to show you, the trick. And even though with this trick, you will never see any lumps in my amala. Come on, you are from Ibadan, especially. You're making amala and there will be some lumps? Like, are you serious? No, you are not from Ibadan. I'm saying this with my full chest. Please don't come for me. Anyways, going back to this, so what I usually do is, once the water is well cooked and ready to cook the amala, I will take this and put it down on a safe flat space, not on the stove, and make it on there. I don't make it on my stove because there's no way you make it on the stove you won't make a mess. Even here, look, you can see there's no mess, maybe a little tiny bit, which I will clean off after, but it's not going to be that much. So what I usually do is put it down, make the amala very, very thick and hard. That's the only way you will not make a mess, because when you are like, mixing it up together quick, because you don't want the lumps to be in it. If it's too soft, if it's too watery, of course it's gonna be messy. So you don't want to be everything to be messy. Just make it very thick and make it on a flat surface. Once that's done and you see there's no lumps, then you can put it back on the stove and add some water and keep it covered and let it cook well. And that's what I've done. So I usually let it cook for a little bit. After adding some water, keep it covered, let it cook for a little bit, open it up, mix it well, and then put a little bit more water if I need it to. Mix it well, cover it again, let it cook maybe for about a minute or two in between, and then bring it down, and then that's it. So now here is the amala. Amala is ready, but I just have to make sure I mix it all well. If you can see, there's no lumps. So now we're going to put this in a plastic bag. I'm sorry, you guys, I don't just make my swallow and put it right into my plate and put the stew right and just sit down and eat. No, because we have to clean up a little bit, you guys. And also I like my amala to be, I don't know, there's just something about putting amala or swallow in a plastic wrap. You just kind of firm it, make it look all pretty and nice, round. I don't like it when it's like in the plate, it looks all messy. I like it when it's like nice and round like this. You see how I make it? So that's what I usually do. So we put this in a plastic bag. So that the first one is for me and the second one is for my hubby. I'm gonna put everything together on the side, and then that's it. We are ready to eat. Oh my god, you don't want to see the joy in my heart this time when I was making this food. I was craving for this for so long, and every time I'll be like, yeah, I'll do it later. But that same day I woke up and I'm like, nope, that's it, I'm eating this. I feel like eating this and I'm doing this today. And I'm like, you know what, why not just get this on camera? And that's what I did. So yeah, that's what it looks like. It's all done now. Wrapping this up, and I will be serving this. I'm very sure some of you are waiting. You can't wait to see this. I'm so sorry if I make you hungry, but I'm just excited to eat this abula. It's been a while. I don't really like swallow, but when I eat my swallow, I eat it the way I want it. So here we go. I'm going to serve myself. Hubby is not ready yet. He still has one or two things to do, but for me, I want to eat it as soon as possible because I want this to digest before I go to bed. Anyway, so usually you know how we do back home. Once you have amala that you're going to be eating abula, you have to make sure you press it down in the middle like so, and then you can put your stew on it. So the first thing I'm putting is the yegiri. Here we go. And for those of you who don't know, I love a lot of soup. I can be eating maybe just 4 or 5 swallow, just that portion, very small portion of swallow. But when it comes to my soup, it has to be like ×2 or ×3 of the swallow. So that's why you'll be seeing this. It's gonna look a lot, but I'm sorry, it's not a lot. The bowl I'm using here just look like that, but in reality it's kind of decent size but not big. Anyways, I added the jute leaf and now I'm gonna add the stew. Look at my sauce. Did you see that? Yeah, that's how I like it, very thick. Anyways, I'm gonna dig in and this is what it looks like serving myself. So I'm just gonna take, I like the small portion of the meat. My husband liked the big ones. I don't really like the big one, but I will be taking the small portions and also maybe adding one big one to it, and that's done. And we are done. And this is Abula. What do you think? Have you tried Amala before? Have you tried Abula before? Do you know how to make it? If you do or if you do not, please put a comment down below. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate your time. If you haven't subscribed yet, please go ahead and click that subscribe button. Also, please put a comment and please like, and I'll see you in my next video. Thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day.